I am back for another combo guide for Twinblade and Nameless Sword. When Tier 71 dropped, they also made a patch that it was a hidden PvP patch, and one thing that they changed was a lot of things about Twinblade Q. So, for example, the Q startup it has a slight delay before it actually goes off compared to previous Twinblade. And another thing is you go into Flamelash frame 1. Well, you don't go into Flamelash, but you get the tenacity effect from it. As you can see there, your screen turns red. So first I'm going to start with my build really quick. I still run Swallow Call Calm Waters. People ask me like, oh, can I swap the Hawkwing? Yeah, you can. It's good. Like Dao, he runs Hawkwing. But Swallow Call is still really good for me. Well, for Twinblade in general. So I'm gonna just stick with that. You can swap if you want to. Same at Interwaves as last time. And yeah, let's get into it. It's gonna be a fairly quick combo guide. It's not gonna be in depth as the last one. Some of the combos from there are still relevant, so you can go check that out. But I will include some new combos in this, as well as some of the older ones. Like I said, it just won't be as in depth. I should also mention that currently on the patch that I'm on, the Twinblade Dodge is also bugged. So I was told that if you just tap it, it'll bug, but if you tap and hold into a sprint, it actually won't bug. So sometimes like if you just like backdash or like try to side dodge, you'll still get caught. Like there's been a couple of times when I react to Serene Breeze with backstep, but it just does like this weird tumble. Kind of like how the old fan dodge used to be, and you still get hit by it anyway. So yeah, I just want to put that out there that make sure you try to like input a direction and hold into a sprint to prevent that. So one thing that I hear a lot of people talk about is there are Twinblade autos in a queue dropping. Now, I'm not sure what the cause of that is, but maybe it's not being timed well enough. Like since there's a startup delay for a queue, you have to press it a bit quicker than you would have normally had to before. So even a bot, it resets sometimes. Like it says that's not a true combo, but like no one's getting out of that. But you could just do that on a bot to see if you can continue the timer without it resetting after Q. Like that. Like it's not too accurate, but some things you still should be able to get out without the timer resetting. So yeah, you have the M1 4 times then the Q and the repeat, which is like the most basic one. For a Nameless Sword, they did change this in China to where all the Qs are true combos, but we do not have that yet. Even though the Melee Q is a lot faster, the rest of it still does not true combo for us. So do not try to do that. Another thing is that in my last video, one of the true combos that I mentioned would be like the normal startup of Nameless Sword combo, but then you weapon swap to Twinblade and Q and then swap back. That no longer true combos because of the delay. Like this one. Like that no longer true combos because of the delay. So I wouldn't recommend doing it at all. So instead, really it's just not even worth going for. So I just wouldn't bother with it. I would just Q and then weapon swap. And just stick to doing that. So one of the new combos that I do is after I catch someone, I will now go into free morph, into Flamelash, because this true combo is a lot more since a Flamelash comes out quicker. It used to be so too slow, so it's inconsistent sometimes. But now that it's more consistent and faster, I start to use this combo more. So one thing that's really good to do is that if you're on Twinblade and you block a Nameless Sword Q and they take it, or a fan player knock up, is you would do tab swap into Q into Toad, which would look like this. So block, tab, Q, Toad. And you can do any variation of combo starting from there. Like that. So I'm just going to go through the different combos that you can do. A lot of them you can just mix and match. You can mess around with like different timings and like different skill orders or like attack orders, because a lot of it is pretty flexible depending on what you have or what you want to do. Well, like I said, it's up to you to mix and match and figure out like how you want to do things in certain situations. But one main thing to note is that melee sword Q, it always combos into Toad like this, which is a really nice tool to have. Another thing is that the sword double or triple heavy, it is a true combo into Twinblade tab. Like that's a true combo, and then that is also a true combo. Just to know, a few things you can try. Twinblade into free morph is true all the time. Q into Soaring spin is true. And also tab swap into free morph is true. So you can mess around with those with different timings depending on the combo that you want to do. So for example, if you have Flamelash, let's say you like block something, you could tab, free morph, cancel, and combo with that. So a lot of people ask me, how do I combo Flamelash? And truth is, it's just really inconsistent for me. So a lot of times what you'll see me do is just like the first 3 hits, which is like, I want to say M1, M2, and then Q after, or tap swap. Because the sword throw in my previous video that I mentioned, even that's inconsistent. So what you'll see me do is just like that horizontal slash, you'll see me just use that over and over. Then tap swap and go back into M1. Some other combos that have been tested or figured out is doing Twinblade Q into scroll wheel swap heavy into Toad is also a true combo. So it'll look like this. And of course you could just do whatever after. Ignore the dummy because it is bugged. It often drops combos or have weird properties that would just normally not happen in a real match. So even though these don't seem like true combos, they actually are. 2 things that are also in testing. There's 2 combos that I need to figure out more. You guys can also see how it works for you. But it's to get both parts of Soaring spin out, which the second part always does a lot of damage. So the first one would be NSword Melee Q into Toad into 3 autos into tap swap, scroll wheel swap, Q soaring spin. And that will look like this. Yeah, as you can see, that is a true combo. The timer did not go down. Shout out to the Pied Piper or Freelancer for showing me the Twinblade Q into Nameless Sword Heavy into Toad. Shout out to him for showing me that true combo, this one. And shout out to Psyche for showing me the Soaring spin one. Right here. Sword Q Frog Parry Scroll. 3-time light tab scroll Q into Soaring. And that's the one with the second Soaring spin part being true. So something else I wanted to talk about is that whenever you catch someone out the air with something, like usually when they jump, I catch them with Nameless Q, or sometimes you'll see me do Yaksha Rush and it catches them. The most guaranteed thing to do to combo off of it is actually just to use Free Morph. I'll show you a clip of my Yaksha catching them and me doing it right here. But you can also see right here that it does combo. And you can follow up with like Nameless Sword Q, or you can follow up with Dual Blade Q. Parry cancel Dual Blade Q and go into whatever. Just super nice thing to know because people are usually confused like what to do in certain situations like that. Since the last PvP patch, there's also a quicker Q hit than there used to be, so there's like a lot of stuff you can combo with now. It's like you could do an M1, M2 Q and M1, M2 again, or you could do something like that into heavy into M1 and M2. Like Q, heavy, M1, M2. Okay, well. Let's try this again. You could do something like Q into heavy, M1, M2, Q, heavy, M1, M2, Free Morph. But if you're worried that won't combo, instead of doing Free Morph, you could just do the tilde. Like that. So there is one more thing that just came out like the day after I was recording this. And it is this. As you can see, that is a true combo. So what you're supposed to do is you gotta tap M1 with a certain rhythm. Like you can see at the bottom left my mouse. Just watch the rhythm I press it. The time is like right after the second hit connects. There's like a brief delay before you M1 again. So you can do something like that. The cases I use it for mainly is if I'm out of Twinblade Qs. So most of the time you'll see me do this. And you can also tap swap and go into this and do anything with it. But yeah, it's pretty nice to have. It does a lot of cheat damage as you saw, and the damage to health is not that bad either. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this one. I just wanted to showcase some of the newer combos that we have. I don't think I went too in depth. You can still check out the last combo video. Most of them, or almost all of them, should still work besides the one that I talked about, this one. Because the Q startup delay makes it not true. But the rest should work. If I ever do find more combos, I'll just upload it into a short and talk about it there. But I hope you guys enjoyed regardless. I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.